Hello, you're watching TelecomTV. I'm Martin Warwick. I'm talking with Dragan Milanovich, who is VP Web Services at HP. Dragan, what is HP Software announcing at this Mobile World Congress?
We're announcing HP Access Catalog. It's a consumer-grade application store. And the idea is that employees are going to bring their own device and use it as a major access point to get company-sponsored applications.
So why is it important for employers and for employees?
Well, what we've noticed is a trend in the market itself has been bifurcated, so that you've got a lot of Android devices, iOS devices, Windows devices, and what we do is we give the employees the ability to use the device that they're the most productive in and use it in an enterprise setting under the oversight of IT and the business unit.
How is this innovation going to be delivered to the market? And an important point, I think, to add to that, will employees have to work differently from before as a result of it?
They will work a little bit differently, but in a better, different way. So if you look at the traditional enterprise market, what happens is as soon as an employee joins, they give them enterprise chosen devices.
Sure.
And if they don't really know how to use those devices, they have a steep learning curve until they get to it. What we're offering is the ability for the employee to choose the device that they're already productive in and then use that in an enterprise setting. So we think it's a little bit of a change, but it's what everyone is asking for.
And how is it going to be delivered?
It's going to be delivered via a simple URL. We integrate into the enterprise either Active Directory such that an employee can use their credentials to log in, and once they do, it's a complete consumer-like experience. It will automatically download any applications that the employer suggests should be there and gives them an opportunity for all the other ones made available by the employer.
Moving on to a bit more tricky subject, what about regulation and what about the security concerns around this area? Will that, do you think, will it help drive adoption? Will it hinder it as far as enterprise mobility platforms are concerned?
Our platform is PCI compliant, and we have locations within Europe, China, and the US. And the idea behind that is that it allows us to comply to the local regulations. And we believe we take PCI compliance and we take privacy concerns very, very seriously. And it's been built into our platform from the start.
What are your customers actually asking for then as far as enterprise mobility platforms are concerned?
They're asking for the ability to track what employees are doing with their device, at the same time not to be intrusive on the device such that the employer is not necessarily interested in the family photographs, but they are very interested in the price sheets that are being downloaded. What we've provided is a mechanism such that an employee-owned device, we will give the employer the kind of control that they need for the assets that belong to the employer, and at the same time, we don't give them the right to be able to go in and erase, the favorite family photos that are on there.
Well, it's a difficult one, and it's this, Dragan, isn't it? Because it seems a lot of people, and there's a lot of debate around this, saying the employers come out of this best. They maybe put a bit of financing behind the device that's being brought in, they maybe don't. The worker uses that device for the work of the employer. The tacit agreement, the arrangement, the way things work out is that the employer then has also access to that device for all sorts of purposes that may be absolutely none of their business. How do you get around that? I mean, you've told us what's being done. How is it being done? So
what we find is that the employers what they're looking for is complete tracking of their assets. The way we do it is you download an application. That application, because you log in, has your username, password. Once you log into that username, password, you use the catalog to download the applications necessary for you to do work. as long as you're using that catalog supplied to you, and as long as you're using the applications that the employer is providing, we can completely track that.
Right.
At the same time, the employer doesn't really know which photographs are there. However, they have the ability to turn around and say, okay, the photographs, the camera that's on there, we don't really want to use it in this location, but it's okay to go in others. And it's really a voluntary compliance to the policies that the employer has set aside.
Okay. And what about looking forward? Let's look at the trend and bring your own device, BYOD. How do you think it's going to continue to develop over the next couple of years? First of all, the employers were concerned about it because they thought proprietary knowledge and secrets would leak all over the place. Employees are obviously concerned because they think their privacy can be invaded at some time. So where's the trend going?
So the way we're looking at it is we think that what's happened in the last 5 years, it used to be for all employee devices, all you had to do was provide a Windows machine and everyone's happy, and that's kind of the definition of productivity.
Sure.
What's happened in the last 5 years or so, we've seen the fracturing of that market. We're seeing Android, we're seeing iOS, we're seeing Macintosh coming in and holding their own, and we think that's going to continue. What's more, what's happened is that as an individual learns how to use that particular device, they become very productive on that device. And what we feel is going to happen in the future is that employers, given this kind of software that we're building, are going to say, great, we'll give you a stipend, you get the device that you're going to be the most productive in, and that you can do your job. And what we will do is we will exert as little control over that device as we can. So for example, the thing to realize is that security is not a one-fits-all, where the employer has complete control of everything.
Sure.
There are cases where if you're a member of a board, it's absolutely correct for them to completely own your device and be able to control it because of the sensitivity of the material there.
Yep.
On the other hand, if you're an engineer and you have an expense report, a different level of security is required. So we think that security is going to get significantly more sophisticated with many different solutions, and we think that the current trend of many devices in the marketplace is going to continue to do that, and quite frankly, it's fundamentally being fueled by productivity. People want to be productive on the device that they're using, and not all devices are productive for every single situation that's out there.
Thank you. It's a really interesting area.
Absolutely.
You must be very keen on it. I mean, for yourself, how do you see things progressing over the next couple of years as far as HP is concerned?
I think I'm very excited. I think HP is doing very well. I think this foray into mobility and in the workplace of the future has great promise for us, and I'm really excited by it.
Dragan Milanovich, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.